Our protagonist endures constant bullying, not only at school or from people around him, but even at home. His life feels like an endless nightmare. His only wish is to have someone who will love and care for him just like his mom, but sadly, that seems out of the question. Unexpectedly, our dear protagonist gets sick, which disgusts his mother even more. She does not care about him, leaving him alone when she can no longer handle him. Our protagonist passed away without anyone beside him, causing him to cry and wish that in his next life, he would be like everyone else, healthy and able to receive love from those around him. A miracle happens. He meets a wizard who gives him another chance at life, promising a better one. He was born into nobility, surrounded by loving brothers, an uncle, and parents. However, not everything was sunshine. At the age of 8, he fell sick once again, and for 5 years, he endured an incurable disease. At the verge of his life, he suddenly remembered his past life, and meeting the wizard of creation and rebirth, Lord Felin. He then realized that he was already cured, as if he had never been sick at all. With a smile, he asked his friend if he could try to walk, which made his friend, Tyr, cry tears of joy because he was no longer sick. Slowly, all the memories from his previous life came back to him, but he was still in awe of why the wizard had helped him and given him a chance. He also tried to remember the words spoken to him by the wizard, but he couldn't recall them. Above all, he resolved to embrace his new life as the youngest son of the esteemed Felivia family, the guardians of the world from the abyss at the western borders of the horizon. Meet our protagonist and male lead, Eugene Felivia. Right after recovering with Tyr's help, Eugene now faces his uncle, who enthusiastically engages in swordplay with him. His uncle returned to their place upon hearing the news of Eugene's recovery. While Eugene endeavors to match his uncle's sword fighting skills, he acknowledges his lack of practice and the limitations of his still recovering body. His uncle, one of the individuals who has shown him love in his new life, is now cherished by Eugene more than anything. Not all of his family members were happy seeing the two of them together. They were treated harshly by one of their elders, who hurled insults at them until Eugene couldn't take it anymore. He ended up meeting his cousin's face with his fist, leading to their elder becoming angrier at him and his uncle. What he did was impressive, and his older brother, who was acting as the head of the family, was proud of his actions. However, our dear protagonist received a good scolding for his behavior, and was grounded for a month, leaving him unable to do anything about it. Then he decided to learn magic. Yes, to learn magic by himself. He kept himself busy studying magic in their own library, only to realize that the magic books were old and couldn't fully help him. Getting a teacher seemed impossible since he was afraid to ask his older brother about it. The reason why he chooses to learn magic is because he feels like it is destiny. For his first attempt, he was able to conjure a single strand of magic. Luckily, his uncle found him in the library, accompanied by a mage teacher from the Magic Academy. They were both shocked to discover that Eugene was learning magic, and could already conjure a single strand. With excitement, Stein tried to assess Eugene's magic, and became convinced that he was one of the genius kids. She attempted to persuade his brother to allow our protagonist to attend the magic school. However, since their family were all swordsmen, he challenged Eugene to enter the Magic Academy on his own merits within 1 month, using his magic. Eugene was thrilled that his brother gave him a chance and was convinced by teacher Stein. Eugene found out that he needed 4 strings to pass the entrance exam. However, when they checked his magic using a device, he only had 1 string, which disappointed the teacher. Nevertheless, he did not give up. Determined to attend the magic school, he sought a way to make it happen. He wanted to try without any regrets. From then on, he practiced and practiced his magic tirelessly, aiming to improve despite having only 1 string. One day, while he was practicing, his 2 cousins, who had approached him from the start of the story, began teasing him about having only a single string, but still attempting magic. He asked them if they would like to get beaten again, and they engaged in a heated argument that culminated in a bet. The bet was about hunting demonic beasts, minions of the abyss. Eugene was not in favor of this idea. He mentioned that he would tell his older brother about it, but his two cousins argued that eventually they would be doing the same thing when they grew up. Eugene kept explaining that hunting demonic beasts was not child's play, but a task meant for adults. His cousin told him that it was a request from a young child who is part of the Slash and Burn village, a community that practices slash and burn agriculture, which involves cutting down and burning plants. Rob, one of his cousins, told him that if the issue were reported, the village would be destroyed, and the villagers would either be exiled or sentenced to forced labor. The three cousins then went to the village to help the young girl. Demonic beasts were all over the village, and one of them was being chased by Eugene with his sword in hand. He wanted to finish the hunting quickly and return home. Despite his shouting to stop the beast, it kept on running. He ended up using magic in his sword before slaying the said beast. He was ecstatic about his first kill, and went back to his two cousins to show off, only to find them with a mountain of beasts they had already slain. Talk about disappointment. He then realized that his cousins were really strong, unlike him. They precisely targeted the weaknesses of the demonic beasts, showcasing their skill as members of the Falivia family. The family is known for their ability to execute pinpoint attacks that can even penetrate the essence. His cousin then teased him, saying that he did better than they thought. While he accepted that they were strong, the young girl cheered for him, letting him know that catching one was already amazing. She explained that even the adults couldn't handle the wolves by themselves. They asked the little kid where the villagers were, and she answered that they all vanished, leaving only the village chief behind. The cousins decided to look around the village, leaving Eugene with the little girl. She also mentioned that the village chief was acting strange, and had been called senile by the villagers. The little kid brought him to the drawing that the old village chief was making, and they found out that it was the mark of their nemesis. Jin, the small child, led Eugene into a cave, and once inside, they found the missing villagers all tied up and lying down. Some of them were still alive, while others had already passed away. The old man followed them and transformed himself into a scary demonic creature with intentions to offer the children of Felin, burn them, bury them in the wells, and feed them to the dogs. To Eugene's shock, the old man turned out to be a mage. Worried for the people, Eugene decided to fight with all his strength. Losing hope, he resolved to use what he had learned from magic and apply the Falivia way. The Sword of Falivia was designed over dozens of generations for the sole purpose of confronting the abyss. One of the techniques that Eugene could use was the Eyes of Falivia, a move that enabled him to see the strings that composed magic. He knew he needed to limit its use to magic and string. The result of his frequent practice of magic would be put to the test against the opponent now standing before them. With the Eyes of Falivia focused on each string, it was not impossible to see the strings. Eugene tried to block every single attack of the opponent while protecting Jin on his back. He knew that if he were to be hit again, his body definitely wouldn't survive. He realized that cutting the opponent's strings would be difficult, so he planned to cut his own strings into 4. He just needed to weave the sound at the exact moment before it dispersed. He attacked the mage with this plan and successfully defeated him, rescuing the villagers. His two cousins returned, one of them injured, as the Eye of the Abyss followed them from the sky. A terrifying scene unfolded, with multiple eyes and hands seeming to open the sky in an attempt to invade. The Abyss had sent its emissary. Meanwhile, Eugene's uncle could be seen sitting while looking at the photo album, where only Eugene's face was visible, while the faces of other family members remained unseen. In another shot, he could be seen consuming a red liquid with eyes resembling those of the Abyss. Eugene asked his cousins, Rob and Rock, to evacuate the villagers, while he decided to confront the abyss, even though he wasn't sure if his weak stamina and tired body could withstand it. Rob spotted the abyss worshipper, or the mage Eugene had defeated, and was shocked to see Eugene facing him alone. Rob decided to assist Eugene in facing the daunting abyss. He urged Eugene to evacuate and inform the family that they needed help. The old mage asked the emissary to take them as offerings to replace the broken flesh, which shocked Eugene and Rob. This revelation meant that the abyss was still not in its prime state. They both decided to intervene while it was still incomplete, hoping that the family would arrive soon to assist them. In the meantime, Eugene planned on using the Eye of Falivia to combat the abyss. Before they could even contemplate their next move, the abyss, lurking in the shadows, lunged at them with a ferocity that caught them completely off guard, sending shockwaves through their resolve and throwing them off balance. Despite the chaos surrounding them, Eugene, driven by sheer determination, struggled to rise to his feet, unwilling to succumb to the relentless onslaught. With every fiber of his being, he fought to maintain his ground, knowing that the fate of all rested on his shoulders. Summoning every ounce of strength within him, Eugene braced himself against the unrelenting force of the abyss, enduring its savage assault with unwavering resolve. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though he might prevail against the darkness threatening to consume them all. However, the abyss unleashed another devastating blow, one that shattered his defenses and left him teetering on the brink of oblivion. As Eugene's body faltered under the weight of the abyss's relentless onslaught, hope flickered dimly in the darkness. Just when it seemed that all was lost, a beacon of salvation emerged in the form of the protagonist's uncle. With unwavering courage and determination, he swooped in to rescue Eugene from the clutches of despair, scooping him up in his arms and carrying him to safety, away from the malevolent grip of the abyss. Eugene planned to visit his cousins, Rock and Rob, and was buying flowers when the seller insisted on giving them to him for free as a thank you gesture. Other sellers followed suit, offering free items to express gratitude for protecting the village from the abyss. Rob asked Eugene if he was doing okay since he was also injured from the battle. Eugene responded that he recovered quickly, perhaps because he had already rested for 5 years, but the twins didn't seem to like his answer. On the other hand, Rob and Rock apologized to Eugene for teasing him. They told him that they thought he was just a freeloader sponging off everyone in his sickbed, but they admitted that day he was more Falivia than anyone else. Eugene also answered that the twins looked pretty impressive with their sense of duty, and that he also thought that they were just obnoxious brats who relied on their title. The twins couldn't remember what happened in the fight, so our protagonist mentioned that they were saved by his uncle. He bid farewell to the twins, and both of them thanked him for visiting. Eugene realized why his family was so harsh on his uncle and him. If the honor of the Falivia family is tarnished, all of the prestige and respect will crumble. Even in moments of fear, he overcame it with pride in being a Falivia. Without the pride that Falivia bestowed upon them, none of that would have been possible. However, that doesn't justify the harassment he experienced and his uncle's suffering. His uncle's experience was one of cruelty and injustice. When his father got injured, his uncle was forced to take his place, but his uncle only had an interest in books. He was ridiculed by his father for not being enough. His uncle didn't have anyone with him, and he suffered alone. Despite all this, his uncle did not give up and remained kind with a gentle nature. Eugene told his uncle that he would like to grow up to be like him. Sadly, Eugene is witnessing another version of his uncle. His uncle is no longer the person he believed him to be. He has become a part of the abyss, wishing for the demise of the Falivia family due to how he was treated before. During another enchanting magic lesson, Eugene astounded Istein with a display of the extraordinary magic he had utilized to vanquish the formidable mage known as Dishio within the depths of the cave. Istein stood in awe, her senses overwhelmed by the sheer potency of Eugene's abilities. She couldn't help but marvel at the potential he possessed. With such mastery, she thought, he would undoubtedly be welcomed with open arms into the esteemed halls of the magic school. As they delved deeper into the intricacies of spellcasting, Eugene proposed a daring challenge: to bend his single string of magic to form a perfect square. Istein, well versed in the arduous journey of magical mastery, cautioned Eugene about the daunting nature of his task. Many mags, she explained, spend their entire lives striving to attain the skill to conjure even a triangle, let alone the elusive square. The accomplishment of such a feat remained a rarity, a testament to the unparalleled talent and dedication required. Yet, to Istein's profound astonishment, Eugene effortlessly demonstrated his prowess by effortlessly fashioning a flawless square from his singular thread of magic. The sight left her speechless, a testament to Eugene's innate ability and the boundless potential that lay within him. That confirms that he can now learn magic properly. His teacher was so happy to let him know that he was sure to be able to learn magic with his exceptional talent. While daydreaming, Tyr came to him with a new servant. The servant. It's Jin, the little kid from the village they helped. He was glad to see that Jin had a new life. He also found out that the villagers were forced to work on a ranch. Everything is going well. But of course, not everyone. If there's one person Eugene is afraid of, it is his brother, who is the subhead of the family. When he learned from Tyr that his brother was looking for him, he became scared and nervous. Eugene was shaking so much because he expected to be scolded after what happened in the village. He couldn't understand his brother's intentions, whether he would scold him or praise him, but all he knew was that he was grateful for the chance given to him. He promised his brother not to do it again. Another gift was given to Eugene, a pair of earrings from his brother made of crystals called tears shed by Lord Felin. Everyone thought it was just a story from legend, but here it was in front of him. At first, he thought his brother would be giving him a massive stone, but fortunately, it was just a pair of earrings. After receiving the earrings from his brother, Eugene discovered that they helped amplify the vibration of the strings, causing him to have more magic than before. He also found out how lavish and expensive the piece of jewelry he received was. In fact, the cost of the earrings could buy 2 whole castles, which shocked him to the core. He was congratulated by Istein and reminded that there were only 2 days left before the admission to the magic school. Istein gave him a recommendation letter and a certificate as well. Eugene felt so happy that he could shed tears already. He thanked his teacher, although it seemed that his teacher was a little scary. He showed the letter and the certificate to his uncle happily, and his uncle was proud of Eugene. However, Eugene asked his uncle if he needed to leave and go back to the capital. His uncle answered yes, because he had patients waiting for him already, which is why he needed to return right away. He asked Eugene why he looked sad, teasing him that he was sad because he was leaving. Eugene answered no, which shocked him, but Eugene clarified that he was not sad because he was leaving. The uncle then reassured him that they would see each other when Eugene went to the capital, to the magic school. They were both happy knowing that it would be easier to see each other. Tyr is in a panic, opening the door suddenly and rushing to Eugene. Eugene asked what happened, and he was informed that the Countess is on her way back home. Eugene's eyes shined, realizing that his mom would be back home. Unbeknownst to Eugene, his uncle was not pleased that his mom would be coming home. In the next scene, Eugene's uncle is seen in a human offering, conversing with other abyssal beings. They discuss the downfall of Olivia and inquire if he has had a change of heart. He firmly responds with a no and changes the plan to attack the family before the Countess arrives. They express fear of Skadi, the Countess and Eugene's mother, arriving earlier than expected. They plan to attack the family and destroy the Tear of Felin. Everyone is in a panic, and Eugene wonders why. Everything should be in place and perfect, yet Eugene feels like he's in the middle of a war. He's concerned that they were invaded by monsters, but all he hears is that the Countess is coming. He then asks where his uncle is, and is told that he was exiled. In a flurry of emotions, Eugene hastens to confront his brother, driven by a burning desire to unravel the mystery surrounding their uncle's exile. With heart pounding and questions swirling in his mind, he demands answers, seeking to understand the truth behind the exile of the man who had once been a beacon of warmth and kindness in their lives. As the truth unfurls before him like a tattered tapestry of secrets and betrayal, Eugene's world shatters into a million fractured pieces. His brother's words cut through the air like a double-edged sword, revealing the dark truth hidden beneath the veneer of familial bonds and affection. The revelation strikes him like a thunderbolt, leaving him reeling in disbelief and confusion. How could his beloved uncle, the embodiment of gentleness and compassion, be accused of such a heinous crime? The weight of the accusation hangs heavy in the air, casting a shadow of doubt upon Eugene's cherished memories and cherished beliefs. With trembling hands and a heart heavy with sorrow, Eugene grapples with the enormity of the revelation. The knowledge that their uncle's actions had led to the demise of their beloved grandfather cuts deep, tearing at the very fabric of their family's unity and trust. Yet, amidst the turmoil and despair, Eugene finds himself torn between conflicting emotions, a tumultuous whirlwind of love, loyalty, and disbelief. How could he reconcile the image of the uncle he had known and cherished with the accusations that now tainted his legacy? As the weight of truth settles upon his shoulders like a burden too heavy to bear, Eugene's mind races with unspoken questions and unanswered doubts. The revelation leaves him adrift in a sea of uncertainty, grappling with the painful realization that sometimes, the ones we love the most are the ones capable of inflicting the deepest wounds. In the aftermath of the revelation, Eugene finds himself at a crossroads, a precipice between loyalty and betrayal, forgiveness and condemnation. With every fiber of his being, he yearns for understanding, for closure, for the elusive truth that lies buried beneath the layers of deception and deceit. And so, with a heavy heart and a soul burdened by the weight of newfound knowledge, Eugene embarks on a journey of self-discovery, a quest for truth, justice, and redemption in a world fraught with shadows and secrets. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below for more content like this. Make sure to also ring the notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to share more exciting content with you. Until next time, take care, and see you in the next video.